Okay, let us come to example 2, which is the use of the next kind of question, the next technique. Find the angles between 0 and 360 which satisfy each of the following equation. Okay, notice the second type of question we are looking at is what I call factorization. There would be common factors which you can factorize and make use of the zero product rule. Let's take a look at 2a. Sine x cosine x is equal to 3 cosine x itself. First thing I like you to do, always equate your equation equal to 0 when you have more than one terms. Okay, since you do not have a single trigo term equal to a value, please equate your right hand side to be equal to 0. If you can, you notice there is a common term. Please factorize it. Once you are able to factorize it and it must be equated to 0, you can make use of the zero product rule. What does the zero product rule tells you? If there are two products where A times B is equal to 0, this will tell you either A is equal to 0 or B is equal to 0. Alright? The use of the zero product rule itself. So now, since we already factorized it and we can make use of the zero product rule, very quickly you can conclude that cosine x would be equal to 0 or sine x minus 3 would be equal to 0. So in this case, let's solve for it independently. Please finish solving for cosine x first. First thing, find the reference angle. In this case will be cosine inverse of 0 and you will get 90. degree. So in this case, what does this tell you? Alright, 0 is a neutral number. It can be both positive and negative. Let's just assume that 0 is a positive value. So if let's say cosine is positive, which quadrant does it lie in? It must be the first as well as the last quadrant in this case. So if it lies in the first quadrant, it must be 0 plus the reference angle, which is 90. If it's in the last quadrant, it will be 360 minus the reference angle. In this case, will be 270. Once we are done with cosine x, let's move on to the other one. In this case, sine x is equal to 3. Take note, if you make use of the calculator, you realize you will not be able to get any value because sine inverse 3, you will get an error. Because sine and cosine will not oscillate more than 1, nor below negative 1. It's always between 1 as well as negative 1. So in this case, you do not have to solve for sine x is equal to 3 as there will be no solution. So 90 and 270 would be your final answer.